Junji Ito is a name you all know. This man has carried the horror genre in manga for over 30 years. Two of his more notable works would be Tomui and Uzumaki. He's an author that dabbles in really unique and odd types of horror, blending body horror and cosmic horror seamlessly. He is without question one of the most unique manga authors in the world. In today's video, I'll be talking about a manga I think is as good as the other two, but doesn't get talked about as much. Gyo is an underrated gem that has such a crazy premise that I just had to talk about it for October. And I mean, I couldn't go all of October without talking about the GOAT of horror manga. Also, please like and subscribe as it helps out the channel a lot. In this video, I'll be talking about the story, mainly the first chapter and the general plot of the story. After that, I'll be talking about the bizarre concept and moments of the manga. If you'd like to avoid spoilers, please click off now, but if you don't mind, then please enjoy the video. We see someone diving and get the title of the chapter, being The Death, Stench of the South Seas. We see that the man is exploring a sunken shipwreck. The man slowly works his way closer to the ship, and it's a battleship. The man notices that he has some sharks swimming very close by. Something darts past the man, and as he turns to follow it, he notices sharks right behind him. The man quickly swims to the surface while the sharks chase him, and we see a ship waiting above. The man surfaces and screams for Kaori, his girlfriend, to give him a hand. She pulls Tadashi into the boat and he tells her sharks were chasing him. After he's in, they look over the side and they see the sharks circling. Tadashi and Kaori talk and he mentions that just before the sharks attacked, he saw something smaller dart past him, like a torpedo. Kaori asks if they can head back, as the smell of the sea is making her feel sick. They leave the harbour and Tadashi asks if Kaori is feeling better. She tells him that she still doesn't feel great. She mentions that something stinks as they walk past the fish market. They arrive back home to relax. "Are you better now?" Tadashi asks, and Kaori replies that she is, and Tadashi should go shower now. He asks for a kiss first, but she tells him not to until he's brushed his teeth, as he has bad breath. She mentions that she's been putting up with it since they started dating, but his breath is really bad. She asks him to brush it every time they kiss, and this annoys him. They continue to bicker and escalate the argument. Eventually, Kaori says that she's going to leave and fly back to Tokyo, and then storms out. Tadashi calls out for her, trying to convince her to come back. Tadashi then gets worried and goes to follow her. He follows her trail and calls out for her, but he hears something, and he smells something strange. As he searches, he hears Kaori scream. He finds her sitting in the grass. She's shocked and tells him that there's something dashing around. It dashes past them and they can't make out what it is. Kaori complains about the smell and Tadashi convinces her to come back to the house. Later, after they return, Kaori comes out of the shower and can still smell that terrible smell. Tadashi thinks that the smell must be following them and is probably inside the house. Kaori tells him to do something about it. Tadashi doesn't know what to do and Kaori tells him to go buy some air freshener while she showers again. As Tadashi leaves, he notices that it doesn't smell outside, but inside the house, Kaori notices it getting stronger. Kaori hears a strange noise in the bathroom. She goes to investigate and hears a noise that sounds like air being let out of something. She sees an eyeball and screams. Tadashi then arrives home, and as he opens the door, he is instantly hit with a terrible smell. He runs in with the air freshener looking for Kaori. He finds her passed out on the floor, and before he can get her up, he begins to hear a strange noise. He walks around the house trying to find the source of the sound. As he searches, he sees something dash across the floor, and he goes to follow it. He picks up a vase ready to hit whatever it is. He sees a leg from behind some furniture, and it dashes quickly out of the room before Tadashi could do anything. It dashes behind a drawer, and Tadashi quickly pushes the drawer towards the creature. He hears a splat as the drawer hits the wall. He pulls it away to get a look at what it is. It's a fish with spider-like legs. "What the hell is this?" Tadashi says. That concludes the first chapter, and like any Junji Ito manga, it leaves you with so many questions, mainly being why the hell does this fish have legs? In the next part of this video, I'm going to be talking about that very question and the bizarre concepts and moments in this manga, so if you would like to avoid further spoilers, I suggest you click off now, but if you don't mind, then let's continue. After Tadashi kills the fish, he throws it out, but this isn't the end of them. Later, when he's walking on the beach, he begins to see small shapes dart around him, and it's dozens of these legged fish coming out of the ocean. These legged fish become common across the area, being caught by fishermen and even begin to attack the locals, which is insane, with a shark causing people to flee to the shore, but even the beach can't save them. The legged fish now bring common fears of the ocean to the safety of the land. The fish begin to spread across Japan, causing chaos and mayhem everywhere they go, and they don't stop moving even as they rot, causing an unbearable smell to spread across Japan. Tadashi and Kaori take one of these fish to Tadashi's uncle, who is a scientist, and he begins to examine it. He finds that the legs are mechanical and attached to the fish's underside. He tries to examine it further, but it latches onto his arm. Later, Tadashi goes to visit his uncle and he finds the arm walking across the floor. He had to amputate it, and we learn that the tubes from these legs pump gas into the host, which is what's been causing the terrible smell. The machines also operate by themselves. The hosts are merely along for the ride. That's all I'll talk about in the way those legs work, and now I will highlight some of the crazier moments from the story. First is what happens to Kaori. She notices boils on her face and is hypersensitive to the smell. She got attacked by the hand, and this spreads the infection throughout her body. A smell wafts through the house, and Tadashi goes to find where it's coming from. He goes to enter Kaori's room, but she screams at him to not come in. He goes in, and the smell becomes stronger. He tells Kaori to get out as she hides under a blanket. He lifts the blanket to take her out of the room, but sees that she is completely infected and her body is releasing the same gases as the fish. And this is when we learn that the fish are more dangerous than just being able to attack people on land. They can cause mass casualties by spreading this infection. We see some crazy scenes, like a whale trying to get onto land, but the legs can't support its weight and it collapses. It's very interesting seeing all the different marine life that make their way into the cities. Seeing the army hunt down a swordfish is one of the craziest scenes in this manga just because of how absurd it is. This manga really ramps up the creepy imagery when the legs begin attaching themselves to humans. We see mounds of bodies pressed together with tubes feeding in and out of them, and it's just disturbing, especially when you see that some of them are still conscious. We also see that the gas itself is sentient, or that something supernatural is happening to it, giving it human form, and we see it interact with people. Towards the end of the story, the legs begin acting even stranger. We see a travelling circus called the Citrus Circus that has these legs perform, and they manipulate the gas to put on a show for Tadashi. And yes, it's just as crazy as it sounds. This gas shows Tadashi horrific images. This manga certainly has a lot of horror imagery that is very creepy and disturbing, hitting on the unsettling vibe of body horror. This manga has an open-ended ending which just leaves you with more questions than answers. You have no idea how humanity will survive or if these legs have spread anywhere else in the world. It's also unclear how these legs are being mass-produced and making their way into the ocean. Overall, it does what a lot of good horror stories do and leave you curious about what happens after the story ends. Junji Ito is a genius when it comes to creating unique horror stories, and Gyo is no different. This is the perfect story to read this Halloween and is short enough to be read in a single night. The horrors of the ocean stalking the land made for an interesting premise that continues to evolve and twist on itself, creating this one-of-a-kind story. I hope that I've convinced some of you to try this manga after this video. Also, a thanks to Wimosuka for making the thumbnail for this video. I will leave a link to their channel in the description, and you really should check them out as they do amazing work. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.